What is up, YouTube? Today we're gonna take a look at the iPhone 12 mini 6 months later. I've had this device since launch date and I've been using it. I'm gonna talk about first the shortcomings and some of the areas of improvement for the iPhone 12 mini. Then we're gonna talk about the pros and overall just, how has everything lived over these last 6 months. So first thing first, let's get it out the way. Let's talk about the not so good, some of the things that you might wanna worry about if you're considering getting this device. The first thing I wanna talk about is, let me go ahead and unlock it, the display screen size. Now, by no means is this a small display. It's just compact and a small body, but my point in even bringing up the screen size is when I pull out the big brother, the iPhone 12, especially when it comes to like watching videos and content that is just so much better on a larger display with more screen real estate, you notice the lack of screen real estate on the iPhone 12 mini. Do I think it's a deal breaker? Personally, no. But to some, you guys who are used to using these bigger phones, you're gonna feel the decrease in size on the screen. So, you know what I mean? I've been using the S21 Ultra lately, a couple of other Android devices that are on the bigger side, as well as the iPhone 12 and so forth. So that's just kind of where I stand on the screen size. Not a deal breaker, again. The next thing, or the kind of con on the iPhone 12 mini, which is the obvious because of the size, is just gonna be overall battery life and battery sizing. You can't put a bigger battery in a smaller body, so at that point, you encounter the caveat of less battery. So for excessive users, smartphone addicts, those high volume users, this phone probably won't check the box for you. For those of you who are moderate, or those of you who don't mind keeping charging sources or maybe having to top it up at some point in time, this will be okay for you. Now, me personally, I'm not an excessive smartphone user. I mean, I use them, I like them, I enjoy them, but at times, if something else that's more convenient is at my disposal, like a computer or maybe even an iPad, I'm gonna go there before going to my smartphone. So I don't burn battery, and battery is always subjective to the user, 100%. You use different apps, you use different ways of utilizing your smartphone, so your battery usage is always gonna vary user to user. So just keep that in mind. I think the typical to moderate user, this battery is absolutely enough. It's just the hardcore heavy gamer and stuff like that. You guys are gonna find bottlenecks in battery life. Now, another thing I wanna talk about is that pertains to the battery in a small body is this thing gets some heat behind it. When you're charging it, it gets hot. When you're using it heavy, it gets pretty warm to touch. So that's just something to keep in mind. It's not the biggest caveat, you know what I mean? As I said, a lot of phones get hot, and if you put a case on it, like I just got this springtime silicone case, which I absolutely love. Now y'all know I love my California Poppy case that I had on here previously, but I wanted to try something new and change it up. So I love this color. You know, a case helps absorb some of that heat and so forth, but it just depends on your usage and things like that and how you feel about heat on smartphones, because these newer smartphones with all of this technology being jam-packed into them, they all are running pretty warm, if you ask me. Now the last con, which isn't really a con, this is just something to speak about, I think with Apple's misrepresentation of the iPhone 12 mini, was this is the lowest selling out of the iPhone 12 models. I'm pretty sure most people went with the typical size, the iPhone 12 or a 12 Pro and so forth. Now, I don't think they should have called this phone the mini, because it's not a mini phone. Also, in the marketing footage, you had to do it with the biggest hands holding the mini. Like, that was the wrong idea to send across. The iPhone 12 mini could have well been the iPhone SE. Like, it could have been that. It should have filled that place with all of the sauce that was given there, because one of the great things we gotta remember with the mini is there's not much distinction between the mini and the 12 other than size, battery size and screen size. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Let's get into the good things. Let's get into the longevity. Let's get into how this thing has held up over the 6 months. Okay, the first area I want to talk about is design and durability. Now let me pop this out of the case real quick. I haven't kept it 100% strictly in the case. I go back and forth. A lot of times I like to just use the smartphone in its bare form, the way that it was designed to be. Let me get a microfiber cloth. That OCD is kicking in. Let's get that nice and clean. I gotta show it to you in its pure glory. So this iPhone 12 even when I wasn't using the case, has held up durability wise. As you guys can see, just take a look. Nice design. You got the aluminum siding, you got the premium glass back, premium glass front, the flat edges, which was the huge hype and selling point of the iPhone 12. It has held up well. And if you want to pair it with a case, boom, that MagSafe accessory, wow. I like the iPhone 12's design. I like the durability and longevity that I've seen out of this device in the 6 months that I've used it. Now the next area of conversation is gonna be these two things here, the camera. I always tell people, man, iPhone camera is the best well-rounded, balanced camera on smartphones. The best video, there's no argument. iPhones have the best video performance on a smartphone. So if you're a person who take a lot of video and you're just a typical user, you're not into all of those using excessive apps. I literally just put up a video about how to get high quality video out of your smartphone, and I showed you, and literally that whole video is shot on this iPhone 12 mini. And I used a specific app to help me accomplish the look and style that I was going for, as well as a bunch of other accessories. But the quality that I get out of an iPhone 12 anytime I go to shoot video, I've shot a lot of B-roll for my channel using this camera. Now, when it comes to stills, this is also another great device. Is it the best smartphone on the market for pictures? I don't think so. There's a lot of other great competitors out there, but it's the ideal. It's the perfect balance. I get ideal video, I get ideal photo quality. So all of the photos and video performance that I've received out of this iPhone 12 mini has been of my satisfaction over these past 6 months. Like, I would be confident in starting a YouTube channel and starting off with this camera array. Also shooting thumbnails with this camera. So that just about says it all in a nutshell. But for the average typical user, it's super easy to use, super responsive, super nice, super camera. It's just a good camera, basically, at the end of the day, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. So if you're looking for great camera performance, the iPhone 12 mini will deliver. It's the same camera array from the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 Pro. It's just missing that third camera, but I can do without the telephoto. The question is, can you? All right, the next area of conversation I'm gonna talk about is performance. Come on, man. Industry leading chips when it comes to Apple iPhones. Whether it's the A13, A14, and soon to be the M1 chips possibly going into the smartphones. I mean, at this point, I don't think Apple could lose in the area of performance because of their chips. Their silicon architecture. It's just technology and science at this point as to what gives Apple an extreme edge in performance over its competitors. So if you're looking for a phone that always performs, that continues to maintain a consistent performance ratio, the iPhone is definitely it. You can get that same performance in the iPhone 12 mini as opposed to the 12 and 12 Pro. So either way you choose to go along the lineup, don't feel that the mini is gonna cut you short, because it will not. Okay, next point of conversation, I just wanna talk about my user experience over the last 6 months. Why did I pick the iPhone 12 mini over the 12 and 12 Pro? It's simple. It was the ideal size. I had like large phone fatigue. So this phone was just a breath of fresh air in the sense of sizing, as well as they did not slack on this phone. I have to give major props to Apple, because on a lot of other manufacturers, when they create the big one and then the smaller one, one has more sauce than the other. At this point, these two have the same sauce. The only difference is display size and battery size. But all in all, in a nutshell, the components are the same, the sauce is the same, the internals, the performance, you're gonna get the ideal iPhone 12 performance in a mini as you would a 12 and a 12 Pro. Also, pricing. This was the ideal price iPhone. I maxed this thing out and still came in well under the higher end iPhone 12 Pro for a maxed out version of the iPhone 12 mini. That was a selling point to me. I was able to get max storage on the iPhone and not feel like I got robbed at gunpoint. And that's a good thing. That's a good feeling, especially when you're purchasing an Apple product. I just gotta keep it real. So all of that over this time, like, I've been enjoying, FaceTime from my bro, C-Kid and Terry. Man, hold on, let me answer this. A play in the middle of a video, man. What we talking about, man? Y'all on camera, man. Say what's up to the YouTube. Hey man, say what's up to the YouTube, man. You on the overhead. Hey, look, just so people know it's real, the relationship that I speak about with C-Kid and Terry is just absolutely 100% authentic. Y'all see, getting FaceTime. Oh, player. Hey, look at player. You hit 50K. Quick capping. You don't need no cap. Hey. Hey, I'm gonna hop back on. I'm about to wrap this up in like 2 minutes. All right. That's another thing to the user experience. It's just the ecosystem. If your friends, if your family members are within the Apple ecosystem, iMessage, FaceTime, and things like that, all fall in line. I also have other Apple products. Like I use my computer. I have a Mac M1 Mini right now that I'm using as my main computer. I have an iMac Pro. I have an iPad Pro. I just ordered the brand new iMac 24-inch and the brand new iPad Pro with the M1. Overall inclusive ecosystem. So if you subject yourself to that, it just adds on to that, and I'm just able to do it in a smaller form factor. I carry 2 phones all the time, the main line and then whatever device that I'm reviewing at that time, whatever Android device is in the run. So I already got a big Android phone rolling with me, so it was nice to be able to have this phone, stick it in my front pocket. Usually when I have a phone and it's big, I gotta keep it in the back pocket. So I was able to throw this in the front pocket. So all in all, I got everything that I needed, the whole kit and caboodle in the iPhone 12 mini, and I'm absolutely a happy consumer and shopper. This phone has checked all of the boxes for me, and I appreciate it. But as I said, from some of those small caveats, it's gonna see on the iPhone 13 if I go back to the bigger size or if I maintain. I don't know, because I feel like when I go to the bigger phone, I'm gonna miss the small form factor of this phone, but when I pull out that big screen, I'm still gonna feel good. So it's like, listen man, this is a great phone, absolutely love it. I don't regret it, I appreciate it. The iPhone 12 mini should have sold more. It should just not have been called the iPhone 12 mini. That's my hot take on the iPhone 12 mini 6 months later. Mwah.
That's on me, ayy. Any day could have been dead. High school price on my head. Paranoid lying in my bed. Pray to God they don't turn my shirt cherry. I was lost, didn't know me. Introduced myself to codeine. 6 months was a dope fiend. Philly didn't even know things. There was a low me. Swear to God that would have owed me. Everything you ever told me. Everything you ever showed me. I forgot it. Caused me drama.